ChatGerry, my 15-year stroke risk curve, number 1548, VPT 101, February 24, 2026, Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation, category stroke and blood pressure. This article comes from my own survival. For more than 15 years, I have lived with strict lifestyle control. I almost completely stopped eating rice, bread, and noodles. My carbohydrates mainly come from vegetables. And my average sugar and carbohydrate intake is about 30 grams per meal. I also stopped all medications more than 17 years ago and relied on daily behavior to control my metabolic condition. Looking back, I can now see a clear structural history inside my brain. Based on viscoplastic energy analysis results, the 20 years 1990 to 2009 when I depended on diabetes medications contributed about 91% of my cerebral vascular calcification. The following 16 years 2010 to 2025 without medication contributed only 9%, the brain microvessel. Calcification damage was not created in one day. It was accumulated slowly over 3.6 decades. On June 21, 2025, at the age of 78, I had a hemorrhagic stroke in Pontine region, a location with a very high mortality rate above 70%. The root cause was long-term diabetes that had already weakened and calcified my blood vessels. The direct trigger was a sudden rise in systolic blood pressure to 175 mmHg during an episode of emotional stress on June 21, 2025. This taught me a simple but critical lesson. Hypertension was the trigger. Structural damage by diabetes was the real cause. That is why I now measure my blood pressure 20 to 24 times a day. In just 7 months, I have collected about 30,000 readings. By watching these numbers with my own eyes, I began to understand how my brain safety changes from minute to minute each time I enter my blood pressure into my iPhone. My system immediately shows for additional key signals: pulse pressure PP for arterial stiffness, mean arterial pressure map for organ perfusion, SBP spike for sudden BP surge, TSI my stroke risk load index or triggering sensitivity index. TSI combines two things: how weak the blood vessel has become, how much blood pressure is applied at that moment. This is the same situation as an old bridge. The stiffness of the bridge is the structural condition. The traffic load is the passing truckload. If the load is too high for the weakened structure, the bridge fails. My blood vessels behave the same way. When TSI is above 100, I am operating near my structural limit. When it is below 100, I am in a safer zone. C equals 100 is not a medical guideline. It is my personal safety line based on my own long-term data. My 15-year curve tells me a very clear story. 1 in 2012, my TSI was 167. That was an extremely dangerous condition. To between 2013 and 2016, it dropped to around 79. That was safest period of my life. This happened because of weight loss, glucose control, daily walking, and stable blood pressure. 3 after 2016, the number slowly rose again because of aging and vascular stiffness. For in early 2025, it climbed above 120. 5 then the stroke happened in mid-2025. 6 after my stroke until today, my TSI is back around 95. Not because my vessels became ill again, they did not. It is because I reduced the load in real time. The fastest way I lower my blood pressure is not with medication but with a physical technique: slow breathing. Inhale for seconds, exhale 8 seconds, repeat 4 to 5 times within minutes. My systolic pressure can fall by 10 to 15 mmHg. No pill I have ever taken works that fast in daily life. This is real-time stroke prevention. In the clinic, blood pressure is usually measured once a year or once every few months. That is only a snapshot. Blood pressure is dynamic. It changes with emotion, posture, sleep, stress, and breathing, with 30,000 measurements in 7 months. I have been watching a movie instead of looking at a single picture. Stroke is not caused by one abnormal number. It is the final result of long-term structural weakening plus one triggering surge. There is another important message. Some damage is structural and cannot be reversed quickly. Vascular calcification is one clear example. But many functional problems, heart function, kidney function, nerve damage, retinal circulation, can improve when metabolic load is reduced for many years. That is why lifestyle control still works, even after a major event like a stroke. We cannot erase the past structural damages, but we can definitely control the load applied to it. Every time my TSI appears on my iPhone screen, it answers one practical question: do I need to act right now? This transforms my stroke prevention from a once-a-year clinic visit into a continuous, daily protection system. My goal is not to fight any medical system or any industry. My goal is simple: if a patient can see their risk in real time and lower it within minutes, a life can be saved. That is why I share what I have learned from my own data and my own experience with readers and patients through mass communication channels, such as YouTube and social media. Disclaimer: this content is for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights belong to the author, Gerald C. This content is provided for educational reference only and does not constitute medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.